All right, so today we are going to start 2-point perspective. It is similar to 1-point perspective in that you'll have a vanishing point, but in this one you'll actually have 2 vanishing points. So this is a little brainstorming thing that we did. So you have 1 vanishing point that is over here and 1 vanishing point that is over here. And instead of looking at the sides of buildings, you're looking at the corners of buildings. And then the sides are kind of going off towards the vanishing point. I personally think that 2-point perspective is easier than 1-point perspective. You have to understand 1-point perspective first. But with 1-point perspective, you have to figure out, should this line be horizontal or should it go to the vanishing point? There are no horizontal lines here. The only horizontal line is going to be your actual horizon line. Everything else will go to the vanishing point. It'll either be going straight up or it's going to be going to the vanishing point. You just have to figure out which side of the vanishing point it should go to. Should it go to this one or this one? So you're going to start the same way you did with 1-point perspective. And this is the same. You can have a lower vanishing point or a lower horizon line or a higher horizon line. But I'm just going to go somewhere in the middle. This is the same as 1-point perspective. You could have a lower horizon line or a higher horizon line. I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm just going to put my line in. And like 1-point perspective, you should probably keep your line fairly light so you can erase it easily. I'm putting mine in dark so that it shows up better on camera. And then instead of putting a dot in the middle for your vanishing point, you're going to put dots to the side. You don't want them on the actual edge of the paper. You want them spaced out just a little bit, just to give yourself a little bit of room. And I'm making mine larger than they probably need to be, again, just to make things easier for you to see. You can just put like a tiny little dot on there. So I have my vanishing points. I'm gonna show you how to draw some buildings on here, but first I'm gonna show you how to draw a street. A street is super easy. If you'll look here, it's basically just lines that are coming down and meeting somewhere in the middle, wherever you want the middle to be, like the intersection. It can be like in the actual middle of your paper, or it can be kind of over to the side. I'll do it over to the side here. It's about right here. So I just put a little dot and then I connect each vanishing point to the little mark that I made. And then I go down a little bit more, again, still connecting it. And then I have my road. I'll just erase where they overlapped. So you've got, this would be like an intersection. And if I wanted to make it even more like an intersection, I could actually make this line like continue here. And this line, my ruler's not quite long enough. Go here. Like that. And make like an actual intersection. You can do that too. Or you can just have a road that has a sharp right angle in it. It's up to you. Okay, so got road, and now I need to put some buildings in here. With 1-point perspective, we started with a rectangle. With 2-point perspective, you're gonna start with a line. But the same thing applies, that if I want to see the top of the building, it needs to be below the horizon line. If I don't wanna see the top, it needs to be above. So I'm gonna go above. So I'm not gonna see the top of this one, but I will show you how to do the tops in a minute because they are a little bit trickier. So then I connect the top and bottom of my line to the vanishing point on both sides. So this makes one side of the building connecting to this side, and then this makes the other side. So I have one side here, or if you're not seeing it yet, it still just looks like a giant diamond, like a kite. So then I need to put in a line to decide where the side of my building is gonna stop. So I'm gonna go about right here. And then I'm going to erase what of the horizon line is still inside my building. And then I'm also going to erase these lines that I don't need anymore. Although if I wanted to make the front of my buildings line up, I could keep this line so that I can make sure the fronts of all my buildings line up. But I'm going to erase it for now just to make it easier to see. Okay, and then here on the other side, I'm going to put in a line. And the placement of these lines, they don't really matter. It's more just about your preference, like where you want it to be. So I opted to make this building kind of skinny this way, but long this way. Okay, so then I have my building. Then if I want to add windows and doors, they'll go to the vanishing point side that they're on. So if I'm going to do a door, I'll put in a vertical line, vanishing point, vertical line. Then over here, maybe I'll do a window. So I'll do vertical line, vanishing point, vertical line, vanishing point. And that's how you make a building. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a building that you can see the top of, and I'm going to put it down here so that it's a little bit easier to see what I'm doing. I've got a nice wide open space. So I'm again going to start with a line, but this one I'm going to make the top of the line be below the horizon line. So scoot it a little bit more centrally. I'll put it about right here. Okay, so then I am again going to connect both sides to the vanishing point on each side. And then this one starts to look a little bit weird, and it looks even weirder when I do this part, but just stick with me for a second. So I'm going to put in a line, just like I did here, to be the other side of the building here. So that cuts off this side. And then this one is going to cut off this side. Okay, so you see what I have here? You see how it looks kind of like an open book? Like you've got like a cover here and a cover here, but this just looks empty. So I'm going to show you how to fix that because you're going to put on the top. So you are going to get this side and take it to this vanishing point, and this side and take it to this vanishing point. So you're going to crisscross, and that is going to give you the top of your building. I'm going to take this corner over here. And then I'm going to erase this stuff that's in here and erase the little leftovers. Okay, and then I have a building where I can see both sides and the top. There will be a couple of other times where you need to take something to the opposite vanishing point, mostly if you want to make something stick out of this building. So let's say that I wanted to put like a little balcony on here. If I were to try to do it this way, see how that just looks flat? That looks like another window. So you would start with something like this, and then you would go to your vanishing point and you would bring these corners and you would make them come out. So if you want something that comes out, like an awning or a balcony or something like that, you take the parts that come out to the opposite vanishing point. And then I'm going to use this vanishing point to connect them. And then I could like add a railing and stuff like that. You basically have to think about if things are parallel or perpendicular. So the railing of the balcony is going to be parallel to the side of the balcony. However, this part, the part of the balcony or the part of the railing that comes out, is going to be perpendicular. So it has to go to the opposite vanishing point. Things that are parallel go to the same vanishing point. Things that are perpendicular go to the opposite vanishing point. And then I have a little balcony and I can like add rails and stuff like that. Same thing if you wanted this to be like a little sidewalk. and you wanted to put lines on your sidewalk, so let me give myself a little space here. So this will be the sidewalk coming down here. Okay, so here's my sidewalk. And now I want to add like little lines on the sidewalk. I can't add lines going this way because that would just make stripes on my sidewalk. So, and again, you can't have any horizontal lines. The only horizontal lines are things that are like lined up with your horizon line. So the lines of the sidewalk are going to be perpendicular to the sides of the sidewalk, so they go to the opposite vanishing point. Parallel things go to the same vanishing point, perpendicular things go to the opposite vanishing points, just like the roads. This road is perpendicular. You have two roads that are meeting at a right angle, so they go to opposite vanishing points. This sidewalk is parallel to this road, so it goes to the same vanishing point. So parallel things go to the same vanishing point, perpendicular things go to opposite vanishing points. These lines are perpendicular to the side of the sidewalk, so they go to the opposite vanishing point. And you'll notice every time I'm twisting my ruler a little bit more, so that every time it is still lined up with the vanishing point. And then I have a little sidewalk with lines. So now that I've got a building in, I'm going to show you how to put a couple more buildings in, just so you can see like what to do once you already have a building. So I'm going to put in a line. I can still see the faint little trace of where this line was. So if I wanted this building to like line up with this one, then I could do that. I'll make this one set back a little bit more though.